Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, today is a special day for a special lady, a lady I've been a fan of for a long time. This woman is the most amazing woman in the sport of bodybuilding. She changed bodybuilding for what it was to what it is now. She is the architect where, that brought in size, muscle, and definition. This is one Miss Beverly Francis. Bev Francis for short, one of my favorite all-time bodybuilders. Just an amazing woman. Bev Francis is one of the most highly recognized female bodybuilders in the world. Now, she's originally from Australia. And before she came into bodybuilding, she was an athlete. Like so many women in the sport of bodybuilding, you start out as an athlete. She competed as Olympic level athlete in track and field. She did hammer throw. She did also. I think she did the I think she did the one with the ball. I forgot the I forgot that one's name. And she did that, and she competed to up to Olympic level. And she also was a power lifter. She would set records for her deadlifts, her squats. She was a strong woman. I mean, just amazing. I mean, and then after there's a good part of the '70s, and then in about the '80s, she transitioned from those sports to women's bodybuilding. Now, she's famously for being part of this. I would say one of the stars of one of the most greatest female bodybuilding. Basically one of the greatest bodybuilding documentaries about women. That was Pumping Iron 2: The Women. It was made around about '83, and it starred legends like her. You see Richard McLeish. There was also Carla Dunlap. Several ladies who were legends from that era. They competed at the show, which was the Vegas Pro. I think it was called Caesar's Cup, but it was people called it Vegas Pro. And she was just amazing. She just brought a certain level of muscle and just aesthetics. I mean, there was a debate. I remember one part it was one of the older judges was debating about he wanted to give her maybe a first place, but I think they gave that to Carla Dunlap, I believe, of that show. But she just brought in a level of muscle that's unbelievable, unseen in the sport of women's bodybuilding. She brought in the new era, of women's bodybuilding. Now later on, she met her husband Steve Weinberger, and they became a couple. And became, like I would say, a power couple. And today, it's still together. And she competed in quite a few shows. One point that because of her look, she made some changes, like her hair, her look. I think one story where she said she got a nose job to fix her nose. But she's been a multiple time Miss Olympia competitor, been a multiple time Miss International competitor. She's up against the likes of like here Angela Langer. She competed against Corey Everson. Corey. She gave Corey a couple of fights a few times, and she was usually made the top 3, top 5 at the Olympia. And just amazing physique. And she kept on going till like up here. Her best showing was in '89, which was the last show for Corey Everson, where she got second place against the 6-time Miss Olympia champion, and that's pretty good for her. And then in '90, she started really changing her physique. She was one point she was trying to be a little bit more feminine for the sport, and then she started putting on more size. Then by '90, she competed again against the new competitor, Miss Linda Murray. And she went head to head with Linda Murray, but she lost. And she came back in '91, and she came in just supersized. I think she felt like I wasn't going to win this show, so she came in supersized. She took second that show in '91, and that was the last show, and she was just so huge. I mean, wow. And after a while, she decided to start being a trainer, and then she settled down. Her and her husband Steve had started a gym, and also they have a family. They have a son and a daughter. You know, and she still trains other people. I mean, some people like Helen Trevino went to her gym. People like uh, Paula Nelson. I mean, Pauline Nelson, and also I know so a couple of ladies I follow. I went to her gym in upstate New York. And she still is even a woman in her. She's in her 60s, and she's still in good shape. I mean, here she is with The Rock. I mean, even Dwayne Johnson, hangs out with Bev Francis, and this is a woman that really is. She has transitioned into being a promoter for a show. She has the New York Pro. Her husband Steve promotes that, and I know back in around about the 2000s, she took female bodybuilding out of the New York Pro, and that kind of cut my heart, especially Beth Francis. You're the one who changed the sport of bodybuilding, and you got rid of female bodybuilding from your show. But then she made up by 2020 in 2020 when she brought back women's bodybuilding to New York Pro. So thank you for that. But I think she's one of the amazing women in the world. Great female bodybuilder, a real pioneer of the sport. Women who changed the sport from what it is now today. And I think people may not like what she brought, but she brought something that was different, something that really, showed the truth of what it is to be an athlete in the sport of bodybuilding. But like I said, this is her. Today's her birthday. I want to recognize her for her birthday. I hope she enjoyed it with her husband, her kids, her friends, her family. I think she's a wonderful lady. I would love to someday do an interview with her. Just talk to a legend. I love talking to women like her, people like her, and Nancy Lewis, Ronnie Lee Kashmar, and Sue Price, women who have been there, who've seen it, who've done it, who had their boots on the ground, 10 toes down. So happy birthday to you, Bev, and much respect to a legend. It's me all the way, Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female Building Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm a happy birthday, Bev.